Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another live chat segment. We are so excited to bring this one to you today. How to reach $10,000 in one sale. Yes, that is no joke. We are sitting with a master photographer here, Stephany Ficut, who has done that on many occasions, I must say. So she is here and she is willing to share with you how she went about doing that and help you reach those kind of numbers as well. So be sure to come on in, tune on in, sit still, and listen to what Stephany has to say. Once again, we are so pleased to be joined by our guest today, Stephany Ficut, a tremendous maternity and newborn photographer based out of Dallas, Texas. Hello, Stephany. How are you today?
Hello, I am so happy to be here and do this, and we are going to talk about how to make money today.
Absolutely, and lots of it. Who doesn't want money and lots of it? I know I certainly do. So say hello to us in the comments as you come on into this live chat today. Let us know where you're coming from and what kind of photography you do. I suspect a lot of maternity and newborn photographers, but maybe not. All are welcome. So we're gonna go ahead and get on started with Stephany. And Stephany, we actually connected some time ago, as some of our keen viewers might know. But what kind of have you been up to lately, say in the past year or so? What are some things that you've been doing?
Yes, so we did our first interview, I believe, right at the beginning of COVID last year.
Yeah, let's hope it's the end now of COVID, so we can
Oh,
book
good.
it.
Um, yes, I did. I did talk then a little bit about my story. So if y'all today we're just gonna talk about sales and IPS and how to get your sales to the next level. But if you do want to hear a little bit of my story and how I started photography and my challenges of starting a whole business, you can definitely go and listen to my previous video that we recorded last year. But ever since then, just work last year has been actually amazing for me. It was one of my best years in business so far. And I do have a lot to share on that. And I would absolutely love to have everybody interact so we can see the questions that you guys have. But I mean, ever since then, just work. And I am planning to release a newborn online workshop. Probably we should have it available by fall. We were supposed to start recording this month, but it's been a little crazy. So we're going to get to that soon. And I will be definitely talking there. We'll talk a little bit about wrapping and posing the baby and all that fun stuff. We'll go in through the family part of editing. So we'll have definitely a lot of good information there. If you do newborn photography, make sure to check that out. It will be posted on my website. Hopefully by fall. We will announce it, but that's the plan as of right now.
All right. And I just added a link to Stephany's website. So do be sure to check that out and stay in touch with her workshop that is coming up in the fall. And check it out once we're done with this chat too. She does amazing work. You will not be sorry. Also, we will go ahead and get a link up to that previous interview that Stephany and I are referring to. Check that out as well. Stephany has a tremendous story, a very inspiring one as well. And we talked about some other great things in that interview that can help you in your photography as well. But yeah, today, as Stephany said too, it's all about the money. And she has been busy, busy, busy this past year. So I just want to get right to it, Stephany. And again, you are a proud member of the 10K Club, which for those of you who might not know, the 10K Club is a thing in professional photography where you make $10,000 or more in one sale. And also, congratulations, first of all,
Thank you.
on accomplishing that. That is tremendous. And for some people in the audience, I'm sure they're very curious. What does a 10K sale look like? What was included in that order that the
Okay.
client ordered?
Sure. So I had a little bit over 10K sales in the past 3 to 4 weeks. And let me just start by saying this. In order to have a 10K sale, it is very important to have a pricing structure that will encourage your client to spend more. It is very hard for you to reach higher sales if you are giving your client everything with with the package that you're offering. So I will definitely expand a little bit more on this, but a pricing structure that would encourage your client to buy more and spend more is what will definitely get you that sale. Now, both of these sales had big wall art pieces. And I believe my first sale, she got two 40 by 50 framed canvases. And then my most recent sale, they got 3 framed canvases, 3 big wall pieces. Now, I believe that wall art is really a big money-making product, at least for me. So that was definitely the add-on that they added on top of their packages. I will go a little bit more into detail about my packages maybe a little bit later, but definitely that was what contributed to bringing my sale really high up.
Okay. What again, we'll probably get to that too a little more in the later parts of the interview, but what is it about wall decor? You say that for you it's a big moneymaker for you and for your clientele. Why is wall art such a big moneymaker for you?
Well, because the bigger you sell, the higher the price. And I mean, you know, having a luxury brand, which is really how I am describing my brand, it is all about offering your clients very quality products. And even the canvases, I'm talking about the canvases now because that's that was the big part of my sale. They're not just, you know, the canvases that they can get at Walmart or they can print at their local store. I do talk about everything that I offer in all my artwork. I describe to them. I tell them the difference in what I offer versus what they can get in my canvases. I tell them they're museum quality handmade canvases. I tell them that on top of the image that's in there, there's different brushstrokes and different sealants that's going to make your canvas look more like a painting than a print. I show them the brushstrokes on it. And everybody loves it. So it's very important. One of the reasons, to put it like this, no, actually not reasons. A great way in how you can sell more is, first of all, show to your client what you want to sell, but describe your product in a way that your client will want it. Everybody sees my canvases, and once I talk about them, everybody's like, wow, I've never heard of anything like that. I want to have something like that on my wall. So believe in what you sell. I think that's very, very important.
And you were mentioning some of the things that you might say. I want to kind of just touch on that again to be very direct about it. You were telling the audience to describe it in a way that will make them want it. So what is, again, even if you repeat some of the things that you just said, what are some things that photographers can say? Because I think this is a part that a lot of photographers have trouble with. They might just sit there and say, well, it's a professional canvas. And they kind of more just describe the product as opposed to describing why somebody should want it. So what are some things that you like to tell your clientele to really get them to understand why they should want the product and to really get them excited about it?
Sure. So let me start by talking a little bit about the albums. When I switched to IPS a few years ago, I mean, I went from giving my clients a CD with all their images to actually selling a product. And I was making that transition from these two different, market levels. So what I did, every single album that I would get for my clients, I would do a little video of it and I would post it on Instagram. And I wouldn't just go through that album and then just show the album. I would put white gloves on and I would actually show that is such a beautiful product and I take such good care of it. And I would go through it and I would explain, this is, the mom picked this option for the cover. They picked this leather and it has this beautiful texture on it. And look how beautiful. Most of my clients, they love the acrylic albums. And look how beautiful this acrylic shines on the top. I mean, the regular clients that don't really look into this or haven't had an album before, you can't really find an acrylic album at, anywhere. So, or at your local store, to put it like that. So they're definitely impressed. I'm already offering them something that I haven't seen before. And I show them the box and I tell them that they do have the options to personalize it. They can pick the colors, they can pick the sizes on it, they can pick the different texture or textiles that go in there. And then I go through the album and with all my albums, I give my client the options to personalize it in a way. That first page, I always tell my moms, this is going to be your page in the album. And this is going to be the page in which you can tell your baby whatever you want to tell your baby. So we're going to put your baby's information at the top. We're going to put, the time of birth, pounds, inches, weights. You have all of that document in there. And underneath, if you want to write something for your baby, if you want, dad to say something for your baby or write something together or put a quote or Bible verse, whatever you want to put in there, we're going to write and you can personalize it. And sometimes when I really connect with the clients, I tell them, especially I do this more when we meet in person, and this is very true. You know, when my mom was pregnant with me, I've never seen a picture of my mom being pregnant with me. And I do have pictures of myself as a newborn, not really in the newborn stage, maybe as I grew a little bit older. But I wish I would have seen how my mom looked pregnant with me, because I mean, we want to have a baby soon, maybe next year or so. We don't know yet. But, you know, I look a lot like my mom, and most likely I'm going to look very similar to what she looked, you know? So I tell my clients, you know, you're doing this for you, but you're mainly doing this for your baby. And this is what your baby is going to have later on. And this is the moments that's going to be so precious, especially, you know, for your little girl that's going to see mommy there holding her, and what my mommy and daddy thought about me before they, you know, even saw me or they met me for the first time. So I let my clients personalize that. And then I talk about it. I show that in the video so that people can see it. And I go through all the pages and I show them, you know, how thick the pages are, and I show them how beautiful we designed it, and I show them, you know, we did this close up, and you know, some moms, sometimes we do like these little profile shots, and I have some moms that say like, oh, this, my baby looks just like the sonogram, you know, that's so meaningful. I even had a mom that wanted to include her little sonogram in there in the album, which I did for her. So, you know, we go through that, we have a few images with the family, and I explain that's so important because, you know, your baby will love these images the most because they're going to be the most meaningful no matter what setups and how crazy, you know, awesome, colorful setups we do. The images with the family are what your baby will love later on because you're going to have that connection in there. So I explain all of that. I go through the album. I tell them why I love these albums so much. We got the really nice thick pages that you can't really break them. I mean, you probably can if you really try, but you know, you can't really break them. You know, you can bend them a little bit, but it's so awesome because this is going to be your baby's album. So if you want to go with your toddler and look through this later on, you know, you're not going to have an issue that, you know, this album is not going to hold the test of time. So I am very specific in how I describe these products, even when I do my videos online and even when I meet with my clients, because I want them to know what they're getting is a quality product. And by already showing that, and when I started, actually where I was going with all this, when I started making that transition, I started posting all these albums, I would have my clients come over and they'd be like, or even when I would talk over the phone, I would tell them a little bit about the albums. I would meet and I would show them to them. They already know that they want that. They meet with me and they're like, oh, I love your albums. I've seen them on Instagram. I definitely want that for my baby. So clients will buy what you show them, but you have to believe in your products and you have to love it. Like the albums that I offer are really one of my favorite products that I offer. And I wish I had something like that from my mom when I was a baby. So maybe that's why I believe in them so much, because I think those kids will actually love these so much later on the line. So I believe in them so much, and the clients love them and they see the value in them, but you do have to show them and you do have to talk about it. And especially if you want to brand yourself as a luxury brand, and you are priced a little bit higher, you definitely have to tell your client why it's a better idea to go with what you're offering, and rather than something at that they can get at the store. So definitely talk about your products, describe them. I'm sure that you can find something really beautiful to say about anything. This is your art, so you have to describe it in the most beautiful way.
But you sell what you show, and I think that is the ultimate message, and such a wonderful one when it comes to the print products. And I love this idea that you make like the video with the print products, because not only do you have the product, you know, to show, because sometimes a photographer might simply have, you know, their images somewhere, but they don't really show them, but you are also interacting with the product. I think that makes a big difference too. Like a step up from showing pictures would be like showing, you know, like the isolated album, which is better. But I think the full effect is when you are interacting with it, as you say, so that the people, your clients, can see another human interacting with the album. You're very informative with it in your video, like you said. You're very professional with it, like you said, with the white gloves and all of this, and explaining the benefits. Yeah, practically baby proof. The pages are very thick. You can, you know, the clients will be able to look at them with their toddlers or their babies, and later when they're toddlers and young children, and not really have to worry too much about if they'll hold up or not. They will be able to hold up. So that was a lot of great advice that you just gave, and a lot of great things to say. And I have to say too that We love Stephany. She does such great work and she's such an inspiration. And we love her even more because she uses our products. So she's talking about acrylic albums, and you can experience some of these yourselves through us, as Stephany does herself. And that would be a great time for you to do that, as we have a wonderful promotion specifically on acrylic products where you can get a sample acrylic album for 75% off for yourself and for your studio. And you can experience the magic that Stephany is describing. So I highly recommend that to get that experience, as Stephany suggests, and to go ahead and make a video like she says too. Such a wonderful way to get your clientele introduced to it. Because like you said too, the other effect is then the clients are coming to you already knowing about it, already excited about it. And you know, half the battle is already fought by then, right? You don't have to try to teach them something new right on the spot. That's really great. And the other thing that I love that you talked about from kind of a general perspective of the importance of maternity and newborn. You know, newsflash, I'm not a girl, but I love how you talked about how effective and how wonderful it can be for like daughters of the mother to be able to have those pictures of the mother when she was pregnant, so that those daughters can understand what that time is like and what it might be like and what they might look like. It's such a beautiful thing. It's just another reason for other maternity and newborn photographers, something they can say to their clientele to really get them excited for their photography and stuff. So that was wonderful. And now you mentioned these acrylic albums. I want to come back to the 10K sale. You talked about the wall art that you had in there. Was that it, or did you say that there were albums in that sale as well?
So with my packages, now with both of these sales, they already got, most of these clients, they got my higher package. And then on top of that, they added the wall pieces, which really brought that sale up. Now, with the packages, I do offer, with all my packages, I offer a product. I know this is one of the questions, you know, that a lot of photographers have. How can I sell a product? Well, if you really want to sell a product, then you have to offer it. And if you really, really want to sell it, then don't give them a chance not to buy it. So all my packages, they do come with a product, either their choice of an album or a portfolio box. This is what I offer. I will tell you that for the newborn sessions, most of my clients, 95% of them will go with the album, because as I said, they love the idea that they can have something to pass through a baby. And it's something that's so much easier to keep anyways over time, rather than having all those prints one by one. And everybody realizes that. But that is part of my packages. They do get a product. They also get their digitals, which each of my packages, they come with a different number of images. They come with 10, 20, and 30. Now, they also have the option to add extra images if they want to their package, which I believe both of these clients added a few extra images in there. I am a very big believer in giving your clients the digital version of the image. I will explain maybe a little bit on this later. All the images that even we do share, they are resized. So they can't necessarily go and print like they would print with me. I do tell all my clients that if you want to print anything bigger than an 8x10, you do have to order it through us. But we do live in a digital era, and you know, everybody wants to share their pictures online. Everybody wants to share these special moments, and I understand that, and I would probably want to do the same. And you know, this is just how I run my business. There's other photographers that don't believe in this, and that's totally fine. So we're going to try to figure out what works for each of us. And I hope that you guys do take out of this conversation really things that you can apply and they'll be very useful to you. But I'm just explaining you guys how I do things and what I believe. So my clients, they will get a set number of images with either of my packages. I also give my clients a social media version of those images. And this is really what they all want. They want to share them. They don't really care about that digital that's going to be on a USB drive. They really care to share these on Instagram and, you know, share them with the friends and just post them. So they do get every single image that they do buy. I will add a copy of it in a social media version that will be specifically resized and sharpened for online sharing. So I'm going to make sure that if they post these, they're going to look really good and my work is going to look great. Also with my packages, they do get a credit. Each of my collections, they comes with a little bit of a different credit amount in there. But I think that is a great way to get your client to spend more, because they do have options on how they can use that credit. So They can use that credit to add extra images. They can use that credit to upgrade their products. For example, they can upgrade the size of their album. They can also upgrade the size of their portfolio box. They can upgrade the style of their album. They can also use that credit to put it towards something for the wall. Now, that credit is not really that much that it's going to cover a whole wall art piece. It's going to cover maybe a quarter of it, but that already incentivized my client. They want to spend that. So if they want something for the wall, then they're going to use that and add a little bit extra. And that's already how I upgraded my package to another level. So make it easier for your clients to spend. Don't give them everything with your package. So even with all these packages, even if they're priced a little bit higher, they come with the basic in them. I give them my basic 10 by 10 leather album. If everybody loves the acrylic set, that's already an upgrade. And most of the clients, they do it. If they want the larger size, so they see everything a little bit bigger, that's a little bit extra as well. And most of them do that as well. If they want wall art, that's going to be a little bit extra as well. So there's what that credit comes into effect, or they can just add it. So this is why I'm saying it's so important to have a good pricing structure so you can actually give your client the opportunity to buy more. Because that's what we want, but we still don't want to appear as a salesperson. We want to help them. We want to be there with them for their journey. And we want to explain why this album is going to be so beautiful to have down the line and what's going to be the benefit of it. I hope that answers the question.
That more than answers the question, and it gives such insight into this topic in general. It's easy to see now how you managed to get to $10,000 in a sale by the way that you have it structured, like you said. And I love this thought that you said to always leave them wanting more. It's a common theme that's used in show business as well, and it's effective. And to build them ways and kind of desirability to keep going, and give them incentive too, like you say with the credit. I really liked and loved everything that you said. It makes a lot of sense. And also this social media stuff that you talked about too. It made me think of what wonderful advertising, as you said, to give people your perfect images for them to post, happily, obviously, onto Facebook and social media. Like, what a wonderful way for you to advertise your brand, essentially, with all these people who are using you. Now, I'm assuming then you have the images do you have the images that you're giving away marked in some way, or you're just kind of assuming and trusting that people will kind of tag you and credit you, or how do you do it with the social media images so that you're sure that your name is connected to those images?
Yes, so every social media version of the images that they receive will have my logo on it. Now, I don't want to be obnoxious and put my logo like super big in the middle of your picture. It's really tiny and it's usually on the bottom. Sometimes when they post on Instagram, it might not even show because the Instagram crops it in a way. But pretty much everybody tags me. And that's great because they want people to know that they did a session with me. And I love it because then I share it. And then my followers get to see, and then their friends get to see. And even if they don't tag me, most of the times I see a comment in there, who did your pictures? And I know this works like this because every time I get an inquiry and we do that phone call, I always ask my clients because I want to know. And I write it down. How did you find out about me? And the two big things that I hear most of the times are Instagram and word of mouth from you did the session for this, and this. So, I think that people, I mean, if you feel like you're struggling with that and your clients are not necessarily tagging, you just ask them to. I'm sure they will happily do it. I would love if you share these. Would you please tag us so we can share it as well on our page? I mean, I'm sure they will want to be shared by you as well. So I didn't really have that problem. And I'm not really, really worried about that either.
And I really do. I love that because, as you say, sometimes there's such contention with professional photographers and, social media and the digital world. But this is such a great example of not fighting it, but leaning into it and using it to your advantage. And I can say, too, as someone who is literally a professional marketer, despite the advances in technology, there's nothing more effective than word of mouth when it comes to building up a business and the reputation and stuff like that. So having those clients of yours recommending you, even if it's indirectly with the pictures, to their friends in their circle, that's so effective. It's so effective, so much more so than, you know, trying to reach them through a newsletter or something like that. So that is such a great idea. And also, again, and of course, you're only giving them away for people who are actually purchasing something. So it's not like you're doing that for free and it's maybe cannibalizing some of your print sales. You are making it only available to people who make a purchase of a print.
Also, let me just add to this really quick. I do also tell my clients that I have a referral program, which what that is. I tell them all usually pretty much after we're done with the review session, hey, if you refer us to any of your clients and they book with us because you send them over, I will give you $100 in artwork credit, which whenever you will be coming back later on, you can always use that towards your session. I really don't care giving away $100 in credit when I get somebody that will bring me like a $4,000 sale. That's nothing to me. And they want to do it because they do get credit. I had a client that she sent me like 5 or 6 different people in a year, and she got her credit, which she used, and I don't even remember what she spent it on. I recently did a cake smash session for her, but that's another way in which you can incentivize your client. And you know, if you're struggling in that area, definitely a great way to start building up that that client list.
Mm-hmm. That brings up another great general topic about, you know, marketing and stuff too. So much easier is to try and get as much as you can out of one person than trying to, you know, get a million new people, so to speak, or something like that. And when you have that system in place, like you said, that person is coming back because they have the store credit. They're making a referral, which gets them maybe more store credits. But that's somebody coming back who's already experienced you, who's already been pleased with you, which makes them that second time and beyond much more willing to spend from the get-go, which again just makes the process so much easier, increases the chances of them spending more, as opposed to that new person who's kind of coming again fresh-faced, maybe unsure, maybe just going to kind of try it out to see. So it's really such a brilliant idea to work in, like you say, something to keep them hooked, to give them a little bait to come back even after that first session, and to keep them kind of wanting more. Now, I want to maybe, if you don't mind, maybe dig into this a little bit, because you mentioned the store credit and you mentioned how, of course, you're not going to give away enough to have them cover, you know, a product or something like that. Do you mind giving some kind of what's the word? Some kind of perspective of what might be an amount of credit that you would give to somebody who comes for a session, and kind of compared to a typical price that you might have for some kind of product? Like, is the credit maybe like 5% or something like that? I think this is something that a lot of photographers might be curious to know, of like the credit that a client might receive. Like, how much is that necessarily going to be in relation to your cost for like a product or a service?
And you're talking about the credit already comes with your package.
Yeah, we're starting there. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So my packages come with $600, $800, and $1,000 in credit, depending on how they go. So for package 1, 2, and 3, obviously the $1,000 will be on my higher package. Now, if they want to add extra images with that credit, I charge, normally I charge $400 for one digital image, but I do tell them all that with their packages, if they do want to add extra images, it's going to be $200 for each individual image. So that's a way in which they can use that credit to add a few extra images. Now, with my top collection, it comes with $600 in credit, so that will bring them 3 extra images in there, right? But another thing that they can do is put it towards wall art. Now, none of my wall art starts anywhere under $1,000, so even if they would use some of that credit, they still have to put a little bit more to get something for their wall. If they do buy my last collection or my first collection, which is my higher one, the credit is right there close to if they was so close to the wall art price. So I really don't mind once they get to spend however much they're spending there. I don't mind if they add an extra wall piece in there, because I'm giving them $1,000 in credit and they can use it for, you know, buying an acrylic as an example, but that's not going to cost me $1,000. That's going to cost me maybe like $200. So it's definitely a great margin for me, and they feel like they're getting a great deal because you're getting something extra for the walls. But I'm telling you, so far, I did not have any clients that would only use that credit towards a product and did not have to add a little bit more. I'm just talking about what product here. Because most of the clients, they want to use that credit to upgrade their albums. That's really my number one seller, and they love them so much. They want to make sure that that product that they will have will be something that they really love and they want. And then with the rest, they'll add it towards something for the wall. So just as an idea, that's kind of how my credit goes. But my prices, even for the wall, they start at $1,000 for the 20 by 30, which is the smaller size that I offer. And then it also depends on what they want for the wall. Canvases are a little bit pricier, so acrylics are a little bit cheaper, but they're still priced around there. And then they just go up from there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I want to just caution to our listeners out there that, pricing specifics will be, for you and your business, they might differ and vary, and they likely should. So don't necessarily just take exactly the numbers that Stephany is shouting out there. Do the numbers for yourself to find out what works for you. But it does help to give some perspective. So I appreciate you diving into that with us. And I also want to bring attention to the fact that you keep stressing how much your clients want to upgrade those albums, which means the acrylic albums, which means the products that we would be happy to supply you in your studio with as well.
That's what I have there. Those are client albums, and usually I have like 3, 4, 5, 6 albums in here, and I love it because by the time I get to actually give them to clients, usually I do my delivery days on the weekends. I have a bunch of consultations during the week, and I love to show them because they get to see actual sessions, and they get to see how each individual client personalized their albums, and how, they poured out their feelings into that letter on their first page, and it already gets them connected because they see that mom has it and then she wants it as well. So that's what those are there. I love them.
Let us know if you have any questions in the comments. We're going through so much. And and as I say that, I see one coming in right now. So do please let us know if you have any questions in the comments. Stephany is giving us such great advice, so much great advice. And again, let us know if you want something specifically cleared up that might cater more to you and your business as well. I see one question from Amina. She says, so she charges for the session and charges separately for digitals and products.
So we do have a booking fee. I call it a booking fee because that is completely separately from what they would end up paying for their package. That booking fee is just gonna reserve their spot with me. It does not give them anything. I charge $200 per session for that booking fee. Most of my clients, they do maternity and newborn, and they do 2 sessions with me. So we would do a $350 bundle for that booking fee, but that is really the only savings that they would get with me. I don't combine packages for sessions or anything like that. They are 2 separate sessions I'm working really hard for. So it just doesn't work for me. I think that the time and the hours that I put into each individual client is not worth for me to combine a package for maternity and newborn, but this is just me. You do you and you do what works for you. Yes, I do charge a booking fee. That is due when we meet. If they do want to move forward, then book. And then once we do your session or their session and they come back for the review session to see their images, that's when we pick their package. My packages, they start at $3,400. They go up from there. My higher one right now is priced right around $5,000. But we do go through all this information ahead of time, and I will definitely be sharing a little bit about this later, and I'll talk about how my process is from beginning to end, so you can see how I go. You can see the order in which everything happens and how we go over the pricing and all of that. But just as an idea, yes, we have a separate fee, which is the booking fee, and then we have the pricing, which starts at $3,400, completely separately from the booking fee.
Okay, and we'll get to that question about your usual process after I see 1 or 2 more in the audience. So once we finish with these 2 or 3 questions from the audience, we'll get to this question about your usual process. Thank you, Amina, though, for that great question. Let us know if there's something that you're still unsure of in regards to that. Linda has a question, and she wants to know, can I ask what price she starts her albums at?
So my albums, I was telling you guys earlier, they come included with my packages. So my packages, they come with a choice either of an album or a portfolio box. All the digitals that they purchase, those digitals, the amount of images that they purchase and they will get will go into their album as well. So if they purchase 30 images, you're going to get them on the digital in the digital version on the USB drive. You're gonna get the social media version of those 30 as I was telling you guys, and then those 30 will also go in their product. Either it's gonna be a portfolio box or an album. Now, my albums, they already come included with the package. Last year, I had them also in my a la carte menu, and they were able to purchase them separately. So far, I've never had a client purchase an album separately because they already get them with their packages. So I don't do that anymore. I just took that part out of my price list. They already come with their packages. So if they want an album, there it is in their package. So, but a la carte, I probably had them start right around like 2,500 last year. But nobody ever bought one a la carte because they already come with their packages. So everybody that was getting a package was getting an album if that's what they wanted, and most of them wanted the album.
One thing I want to mention too, as you referenced again, the digitals being included with the print product, that is that with our albums, you can get a set, as I kind of see behind Stephany there. And there you can include a USB with the printed album as well. So you can make a great set like Stephany does and have it all fit together very nicely for your clientele as well. So if you want to venture down that road like Stephany does, where you offer print in addition to digital, in addition to the print product, say an album, you can get it put together very nicely and conveniently for your clientele using our complete sets, in this case, a complete album set. We also offer that with photo books and dream books as well, and folio boxes as well. You can get with the USB included as well. It will fit conveniently nicely with the prints. So there's ways you can make it all work really well. Thank you for the question, Linda. That was another great question. I want to ask you now, Stephany, what kind of is your usual process with your clients? I think this will help to clear up some questions too that the audience might have. What is it like, the process that your clients go through when they come to you and use you?
Sure. So first, let's just take it with the first step. So first, you get the inquiry, right? That I always send my clients to my website, and I make them fill out that contact form. I absolutely hate it when I have people write me on Instagram and they're asking about my prices. Usually because everything is so plain and so, just out there in the open on my website, that you just need to click on it on my profile. But I do answer to those inquiries as well. And I tell everybody, please go to my website. There's more information about pricing there. And if anything is unclear or you have any questions, please fill out that contact form and I will get back to you via email. I definitely want to have their contact information because I do write every single client down when they inquire, and especially when I have the phone consultation with them, I write down their due dates. I write down, if it's the first baby or second baby, I put down notes about what they're sharing over the session. So I definitely want to remember who I'm talking to because I talk with a lot of people and my memory is just not great. So they do need to go to my website so I can even have their information on Instagram. I don't even know, everybody has a weird name, so you don't even know who you're talking to. So I send them to my website, and from my website, they fill out that contact form. So that sends me an email. I am trying to respond to all my emails in a timely manner, which for me means by the end of the day, I'm trying to respond to everybody. And I think that's very important because a lot of photographers, they wait, 5, 10, 2 weeks to even answer to inquiries. I don't understand it. I've had so many clients in the past tell me, hey, I reached out to you and, like another photographer, and they reach back to me and it's already a week later. So, here she is, she's booking with me. And I'm like, great. So, definitely reach out and respond to your clients. Don't wait too long. I would really love a response as well if I'm reaching out to somebody and I'm interested in their services. So I'm getting the original inquiry. I respond to them in the email. Now, in my email response, I do not give my client any pricing information at all. I am not going into detail. I'm not going into chit chat over the email. I do not need to elaborate on anything there. My response is the following. Hello, whoever you are, thanks so much for reaching out. Congratulations on your pregnancy. I'm so happy for you. I would love to discuss more details over the phone so I can explain my process and answer any questions that you may have. What is a good number to reach you and when it's the best time? Thank you, Stephany. That is my email response to everybody. Now, 99% of the clients will reply and they will send me their phone number and the time to call them. I never even had a client so far that would be like, I don't want to talk over the phone, just give me a price list. And maybe that's not even my ideal client anyways, because if she's just shopping based on price, I'm definitely not her option, because there's many other options cheaper than me there. So they give me the phone number. I reach out to them with the phone call. Now, this together with the next step, which is a consultation, are your two most important steps in this whole process, because this is how you get to relate value to your client. Your client so far is just talking to you. They're not sure if they want to book with you or not. I mean, they like your work, so they reached out. So the first step is done. But you need to pretty much convince your client why you're worth what you charge. So in the phone call, what we do is I'm trying to keep this relatively short, because I don't want a 20-minute phone call for my sanity, and I know that they would totally not, be there for 20 minutes. But I am trying to relate the basic information and express the most value that I can. So I will tell them a little bit about, actually I asked them at the beginning, are you interested in information about maternity and newborn sessions as well? Most of them, they say yes. Great. That means that I'm already getting them to think about the newborn session. So that means that I'm getting, another sell for the newborn session. So we talk a little bit about both. And, if they're not sure, just say, okay, that's fine. Let me just talk about both. And then you can just decide later what works for you. Why would they not get information? It's free information. They don't need to pay anything for this. So we talk a little bit about maternity and newborn. I tell them my process, and I tell them why it's a little bit different than what they have done in the past. But I really try to emphasize value here. I'm trying to tell them that, every session is personalized. Every session is customized for you, so we can come up with something they love. Even for the newborn session, we are going to plan these setups together so that your baby is going to have something that's so specific and meaningful to you and your family. So I tell them that. I tell them that that's what we do at the design consultation, and that's why we meet in person, because I get to know you and you get to know me. And I think it's so important to get to know your photographer before you hand them your most precious baby. That's, the youngest, the tiny little baby. So I want them to feel secure. So, and they love that. I also tell them that through this whole process, they really don't need to worry about anything. I will take care of literally every little thing, and I'll be there every step of the way. I provide gowns for the clients, so they can come and try them on and pick whatever they love and pick their outfits. We're going to plan the sessions together. We're going to plan the setups together. I tell them that they have the option to do hair and makeup as an add-on, so they can add that to their packages. I will schedule that for them, so they don't even need to worry about that as well. If they do want to see who the makeup artist is, I will show them, their work when we meet, and then I'll take care of that as well. I tell them a little bit about the products. I'm not going into very specific detail about that, but I do tell them over the phone. Most of them, they found me from Instagram. So I tell them, if most likely you've seen this on Instagram, if you follow me, one of my favorite products that we offer are albums. And most of them, almost most of them, they're like, oh yes, I've seen those albums. They're so beautiful. I definitely want that for my baby. Yes, that's what I want too. So I tell them a little bit about that. So I tell them, hey, these albums are so beautiful, and I think it's so beautiful for you to have something that your baby is going to have years down the line, and it's going to know this is from mommy, and it's their little story in there. So it's just something so meaningful and special. And all the moms are like, oh. All the moms, they already are emotionally connected with that. So, and they already want it, and they don't even know it. So I tell them just briefly, I talk a little bit about that. And then I tell them that the best part of this whole process is the review session, because you get to come back and we're going to look at your images, and it's going to be so great because you're going to be the one that gets to pick your images that you love. And we're going to look through them together. I'm going to help you to make the best decisions on how you want to preserve these down the line. Also, I tell them that another thing that we offer, we have this amazing software in which if you are interested in anything for the wall, I can show you on my computer exactly up to scale how all these options will look on your walls. And everybody's like, oh, wow, that's really nice, because they haven't heard anything like that before. So by this phone call, I'm already differentiating myself from this other photographer that, it's just responding with an email. Here's my price guide. This is how much I charge, and then that's it. So I tell them that I make them emotionally connect with everything that I'm telling them. And who doesn't want to have everything figured out from the beginning? It's already a stressful time and it's almost baby time. So nobody really wants to worry about where to find outfits, what's going to look good on me, when do I need to do this? I'm responding to all their questions. And by the time I'm done with that phone call, they literally have no questions to ask me anymore. Once I'm done briefly describing my process, I go into the pricing, and I leave this specifically for the end. I know this is the main question, and that's why everybody wants to talk over the phone with me, but I need to communicate value before I go to the pricing, because I don't want anybody to ask me, well, I don't understand why you charge so much because this person charges $200 and you're charging $3,400. I've never got that question before, because by the time I got to the pricing, they already understood that it's something different that I offer. They saw the value in what I was telling them. So there it is, they're already connected with that and they want it. So before I go over pricing, I ask them, hey, do you have any questions about anything that I was telling you so far before I go over pricing? And they're like, no, you answered everything. Okay, great. So we talk a little bit about pricing. Now, I'm not going into detail at all about my prices. They're not going to understand it anyways. And I know I kind of went a little bit over it in this chat. And I know most of you guys are still confused about it. But that's why we do the consultations, because I can actually show you in person exactly what product comes with what and how you customize your product and how you can use that credit. So what I do over the phone is I tell them the following. I have a booking fee that I offer, and if you do maternity and newborn, it's going to be $350 for both of the sessions instead of $400. I really don't want to offer the word discount because I feel like it cheapens your brand a little bit. So I am picking my words very, very careful with everything I'm telling you. I am branding myself as a luxury brand. So I am trying, even with everything that I'm telling them over the phone, to sound very professional, and I want them to see a difference. I'm not going to say, hey girl, for your photo shoot, I don't say anything like that. I'm trying to be very, very professional. I'm talking about portraits. I'm talking about your photo session. I'm talking about, your heirloom albums. I'm describing everything to a whole different level. And that's where you want to get to. So we touch a little bit of base about pricing. I tell them about that booking fee. And then I tell them that I do offer collections, and I also have an a la carte menu. I tell them from the start that in my a la carte menu, it's mainly options that we have for the walls that they can add on top of their collection. So that way it's kind of clear from the beginning that what you're expecting is to buy a collection from me. I also tell them that with my collections, the pricing starts at $3,400. It goes up from there. It really just depends on how many images they fall in love with. And then after that, I tell them, just as an idea, so you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what's included in a collection. They each come with a different number of images in there. You're also getting that social media version of the images that they pick. They already know, because this is what they want. They already know that they're getting a social media version, which they can share online. They love it. I tell them they have a choice of a product. They can choose either an album or portfolio box. They're already happy because you're getting their digitals, and that's number one question that everybody wants. So, oh, I get a product on top of that. Okay, great. They're also getting a credit, which with that credit, you have so many options on how you can use it. You can personalize your products. You can add extra images. You can put it towards something for the wall. But I'm going to go through all of these with you when we meet, because I'm going to show you exactly the products. I can explain how this credit works, and you're going to get a great idea about all of this. You put an image to everything I'm telling you now. Everybody's response is, oh yeah, I do want to meet because I feel like I'm going to understand everything really good there. So yeah, let's just schedule that. I already determined that there's value in what I'm offering. I already set an expectation for my prices. I'm not going into this package is this package is this package is the difference between this and this and this, because it's confusing and nobody will remember or understand it. So they already know based on that phone call that they are expecting to pay at least $3,400 for my sessions. Which is great, because when we meet, there's no surprises. So if that is relatively in their price range, after the phone conversation, they will schedule a consultation. That is the next step. So with the consultation, this is the other part that's very important in this whole process, because first you showed value, you determine value to your client. You kind of put an idea of what they're expecting in their head. Now you have to show them that value, and you have to really convince it. So this is really where you make the sell. But I never think about this as a selling opportunity, because I don't want to do that. I just want to think of me as being there to help you make the best decisions for something that you will have years down the line and that your baby will have to cherish and show with their kids and their kids. So at the consultation, what we do is, well, the client comes over, you know, we talk a little bit about the pregnancy. Did you want to say something?
I just want to, if we can pause for 1 second, because I know this is a topic, and we'll come back to it at the end too. But you mentioned there before you went into consultation, you said if the price point for the clients is okay, then they make the consultation. What happens? Does it happen to you? And what do you do if the client, after you go through that phone call, is like, ooh, 5,000, 3,000? Do you, like, and you can tell that the price is a little uncomfortable for them. Are you okay with just kind of saying to them, okay, I don't think we'll work well together? Or do you, like, how do you handle situations where you can kind of feel that the client is still hesitant after they know your pricing? Or do you find that nobody really is hesitant with your pricing after the phone call?
Sure. So that's why I have the basic starting price on my website, because I want the people that actually inquire and reach out to me to already have that expectation in mind. Okay. They already see that my pricing starts at $3,400. So I don't really expect to get a phone call of somebody that wants to pay $50 for a mini session. So everybody kind of has a little bit of an idea of what I'm offering. But I do get inquiries. Sometimes you're like, what is included in your $3,400 package? So I'm like, well, let's talk about it. So we'll talk about it. We talk for the phone. I kind of give them an idea. I did have clients in the past, or, you know, inquiries in the past in which they were like, well, you know, my budget is like $2,500. Is that something that you can do? And I tell them, you know, my pricing does start at $3,400, but we do offer payment plans. So if you are interested in a payment plan, I can definitely give you more information about that. I am trying to help them here and, you know, give them solutions to the problems that they come up with. I don't really want to say no, but I am definitely not in that price range. So, you know, if that
you don't want to say no to anyone. Okay, Stephany's connection is breaking up a little. We'll be sure to get her back in here. And yes, in the audience, I do see your questions, and Stephany is doing well to really explain her process. I'm trying to find a good time to get in there and ask her a question, but I do feel like she will be answering a lot as she continues talking. But here we are talking a little bit about pricing, and then I want her to get back into the consultation. Do please continue to put your questions in the comments. I do see them. I'm not ignoring them. I'm just waiting for an appropriate time to answer them. So sorry, you broke up a little bit, Stephany. You were saying how if somebody comes to you with like $2,500, you say, okay, my pricing is $3,400, but we can do a payment plan because you don't want to say no to people too often. I think that's what you were trying to say.
So I am trying to come up with solutions to their problem. I mean, if that's just not going to work and it's not going to be in their budget, I'm like, hey, I'll be very happy to refer you to somebody that's a little bit more in your budget if you would like that. And some of them will say yes. Some of them will say, you know what, let me talk to my husband and see what I can do, and I'll call you back. You know, sometimes I get that response, and I tell them all the time, if you think that, you know, you would like to come and meet with me for that consultation is free. There's no commitment required. You're just coming to get information. And if everything sounds good and you want to move forward that day, we can get you scheduled. If you want to think about it, that is totally fine. Again, I don't want to sound pushy, and I don't want to sound like a salesman. And that's never my intention, because I hate that for me personally in my life. So, I do want to be there just to help them and offer the best that I can. So most of the clients, they do accept that, and they do come and they meet with me. And when they do see everything that I offer them, they're fine with it, you know, and even having the option of a payment plan, I'm totally fine offering that. You know, I mean, they do have a period of time in which they can definitely split those payments. But if that's something that would help them, then I have no problem doing that for them.
And that's something you probably deal with on an individual specific basis, the payment plan, or do you have a specific template for a payment plan that you use no matter who's asking for one?
So what I do for the payment plans, if my clients want to do a payment plan, I tell them from the beginning, a third of whatever you're going to go with is due at the review session. So whatever order that you will have, I need a third of that up front, and then the rest of it, we can split it into however many payments you want to in the next 3 months. So you can do a payment a week, you can do a payment a month. There is no interest or anything like that after 3 months. I do charge a late fee after 3 months. And I definitely don't want to ever, you know, be in a situation that I have a client 2 years down the line that, you know, I still have her maternity session and she still didn't pay for it. So that is what I offer them. And most of them are fine with that. And sometimes I do have moms that book me really early and ahead of time. So I also tell them that, hey, if you want to start putting something towards your package that by the time you get to the session, it's kind of paid off, you are more than welcome to do that. I mean, I will take your money anytime. So just throw it at me. So you can do, payment a month. You don't have to do that. Usually your payment is due at the reveal session, but if you want to start prepaying, go for it. Also, another thing that I do tell my clients, and I forgot to mention this, I offer my clients the option to pre-invest, which I tell them at the consultation this. If they want to move forward and book, if they want to put down at the time of booking any amount down towards their package at that day, I will match 10% out of that and add it to the credit that comes with your package. As an example, they book a maternity session. The only thing that's due, it's $200 for their booking fee. Their package, whatever they'll go with, it's due at the reveal session. But if they want to put something down at the consultation, let's say they put down $1,000 plus $200, which is their booking fee. Because they pre-invested that at the consultation, 10% out of that amount, that's $100. I'm going to add $100 to the credit that comes with your package because they pre-invested. So I find that that was very helpful for me in avoiding payment plans, because I have a lot of clients that would put something down and, they gain something out of this because they get a little bit of extra credit in there, which it doesn't really affect me with much. Most of the clients use that credit to add extra images in there, and that's absolutely no cost for me. But I do make sure that I still have cash flow, no matter if it's a slower season, maybe January or February. And I also know that, this client already paid this much, so it's going to be easier for the client to pay the remaining balance. And it's also going to be easier for this client to add more to their order because they already paid a part of it and they forgot about it. So money spent is money forgotten. So be smart about it. Now, that's what I do. Sometimes I do get a client that will prepay it all ahead of time, and they give me, like $3,400 ahead, and they get $340 in credit, which is, great for them. But, I'm totally fine taking this risk because it's just money that comes my way, and I'll not say no to it.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask, how do you keep track of all this? How do you keep track of the client, this client paid the down payment at the pre-consultation, this one paid all up front, this one I'm still waiting. How do you have some kind of software, some system, some kind of book that you keep? How do you keep track of the payment process, the process your clients are in their payments?
I'm very old school, and I do keep a folder for each individual client, which takes all the space that I have in this house. But I do keep a folder, and I have a contract. The contract that we do at the consultation will say in there, if the client put anything down towards their package at the time of booking, it will be in there, and it will also be in there that I'll match 10% of that in credit. So that contract, I keep a copy, they keep a copy. And I also have all this written down. I also have written down in my computer, to how much everybody spent and what they paid at the beginning. So I do have a folder with all of them. It's just what works for me. But I mean, for most of the people, they prefer to do it on the computer. And that's awesome. You do you, but I'm just old school, and this is just how it works for me.
And yeah, if you are somebody who prefers kind of the technology and everything, I encourage you to check out some CRMs and things like that available nowadays. If you want to follow a similar model to Stephany, but want to get involved with the technology, there are many things that you can find on the internet, some CRMs and contact organization tools where you can keep notes and things like that. It seems very effective. It does seem very effective the way you have it all priced out, and it seems like, again, it's a process. You're introducing them to the price in a process. You're not throwing it at them all at once. And you're putting, as you were mentioning before, you're putting context around the price, and you're sure to do that early and get that done before you actually give them the price. So I think, like you said, that makes it much easier to digest and to handle. And I want to also say to the extent that you said you advertise yourself as a luxury brand. And again, people receiving that should receive that to think okay, this isn't going to be the cheapest possible option. It's a luxury brand. Again, if you think of anything else that's labeled as luxury car brands, you're not going to pay as little for a Mercedes as you would for a Toyota or Honda. No offense to them. So just even by branding as a luxury brand, you're kind of instilling in people's minds like, okay, it's not going to be single digits or low double digits. So that's also important to note. I do want to say though, I want to give a shout out to Amina. She snuck a question in there just as you were starting to talk about through the whole process, and I had a feeling you would get to some of it, so I held off on it. But she did have some concerns about the pricing and everything, and so I want to make sure to do her the justice and really address this. Some of it we have answered a little bit, but she's saying, how do you get clients to agree to over $3,000 for a session? Has it ever been a struggle for you? Do you get a lot of no's before you get a yes? We have mentioned payment options. She asked about that. We mentioned that. She says that I am charging, she says, around $300 for a session, and I feel like I have to literally sell myself and explain a million things in order to book. So on top of what we have all said, what might you suggest to Amina to get her clients willing to spend much more than $300 and her not to have to feel like she's completely selling herself and explaining a million things?
Yes. So two things here. One, I went in my first interview that we did last year, and you should find it somewhere on the nPhoto page. Probably just search my name there. I went through my whole journey of switching from a shoot and burn photographer to IPS. So I explained there how I made it work, and pretty much my challenges there and how burned out I was with my old way of doing things. And but to answer this question now, you have to understand in which category you're marketing to. You have to understand who is your ideal client. There are always going to be people there that will price shop, and that's what you're getting there. Now, we have to understand it really good. We have your market splits in two. You have the commodity market, and then you have the luxury market. So you have to pretty much understand in which of these categories you are and you are marketing for. So just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, commodity market is always going to be focused on price. Those are your people that will come back to you, and they're going to be, they're going to want the deals, they want the mini sessions, they want the Black Friday deals, the Mother's Day sessions, whatever you're doing. Those are going to be those people. They're going to hold off on booking a session with you because they know that you offer deals, and then they're going to go and book with you when you're going to be cheap. That's those people that are focused on price, and they value your work based on price. I mean, they're going to shop for your price rather than for really what you're offering them. The luxury market is focused on the experience. Now, they want your work because they love what you offer, and they care more about your experience and your work more than they care about the price label. Now, definitely, you still have to show them value in what you offer. And this is where the conversation that I had earlier about the consultation, the phone call, and the products they offer, that's where that comes in play. But clients in the luxury market, you're not necessarily millionaires or billionaires. So don't think about it like that. You're just normal people that just value photography. And just to give you an example, my husband has absolutely no problem spending, $2,000 to $3,000 on a new sound system for his TV. So he values that at a luxury level. I would be so fine and pleased to just watch my movie with the sound that comes with my TV, from my TV, and I don't need anything fancy attached to it. So I value that at a commodity level. So this is where the differences are, because you need to find and brand yourself for that luxury market so that you attract those people that will be booking with you because they value experience in what you do. So I probably will tell you that that's why you are getting those inquiries, and you're having a harder time booking with those people because you're price shopping. And when you price shop, it's always, they're going to ask 5, 10, 20 photographers. They're going to go with the best price because that's really what happens there. So definitely understand in which category you want to be, and you have to, if you want to be in the luxury market, you can't charge $300 in that market because you're not in it. You're in that commodity market. In that luxury market, you are going to be when you actually start charging, I'll probably say over $1,500. So that is just my opinion there.
Okay, one quick. Let us know. I like this question about, or this thought about the luxury thing, and this kind of thought exercise, because we all have that, as you suggested. Your husband, like we all have that thing in our lives that we can think of that we're willing to do the luxury version of. I'm curious in the audience if you're willing to share. Let us know what is something that's your luxury product in your life that you're willing to pay a little more for. And so, what it sounds like you're saying, Stephany, is if you want to get into that luxury market, earning like 1,500 plus, you kind of just have to do it. You have to make the jump first, price yourself that way, and then people will be coming. Is that what you're saying? As opposed to pricing low and hoping to get people who are willing to pay more, you're kind of saying to price yourself the way you want to and let the people come. Yeah.
I mean, even with the pricing, there is an art in itself. You can't just price to price. You have to price yourself based on your cost of doing business. And that is a completely different topic for another day, because it's like a really long topic. But you have to know, your cost of doing business. And this is very important. You're going to find this everywhere on all the IPS groups and wherever you're looking for, because this is how you start your pricing. So I did that. I understood what my cost is. And, if I am paying $300-400 for an album, I can't charge $300 for my package, because I'm going to be at a minus there, and I'm working for free, and I definitely don't want to be working for free. So if you do want to be in that luxury market, you definitely have to charge more. You can't just give everything to your client, as I was telling you and explaining at the beginning, and it all starts with, your mind. Obviously, we're going to have people that say no. They're there. I get no's, especially when I switched. It was an adjustment period, because I still had a lot of clients that were hearing from me from my old days of shoot and burn, and they still expected like $400, $500, $600 for a session. They're like, wait, what's up with this pricing? Hold on, that's not what she told me, So that's why I'm putting so much accent on that phone call, because you have to show value to your clients. And even now, I have clients that come from, that I photographed in the past, from my shoot and burn days. And I've had a client that, I remember her, I did her maternity session, and she spent probably like $400 with me for a session. And she came back for a cake smash. She loved me. Like, she loved the process so much. And if I knew then what I know now, but it's all a journey. So if I knew then though what I know now, this client, she came back, and I photographed her baby for her cake smash about 2 years ago. And she spent, let's say $500 for her maternity session. She spent almost $6,000 for her cake smash. And she was so happy. Like, she was so happy. I didn't even know anything about her when I did her maternity session. And she told me that this was her 9th baby, which was her miracle baby. She had 8 miscarriages before. She did not care about the price label for this session. She wanted something so special for her baby. So people value what you offer them, and, connect with people, talk with them, get to know their stories. They will spend the money. They're there. And as you said, how many luxury cars do we see driving around us all the time on the freeway? They sure have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend on a car. Why would they not spend that on something that they will give to their kids and their kids' kids, and they're going to have forever, and you're never getting back these moments? So it's so important and beautiful what we do.
Absolutely. And I want to just reiterate that we have put the link to Stephany's previous interview in the comments. So do go back and look at that one as well. Different topics that are being covered in that one as well, but equally as wonderful insight and advice from Stephany there too. And also, yes, if I knew then what I know now, and that's kind of the theme we're at in the discussion right now. So I want to kind of hit on it head on and ask you, then what are some things, here you are today, a few times, maybe more, you've earned 10,000 plus in one sale. What are some things, which is a significant business milestone? And again, I think a lot of people would love to get there who are watching us right now. And so what are some things that photographers can do today to get to that level in the future? What are some other things that you know now that you can share to some people who might be in the before process?
So before I made this switch to IPS, I I have absolutely no idea how, but I was in this IPS mastermind group, and I think I was in bed at one point, and I was just scrolling through this poster coming on. I'm like, wait, what? How are these people making all this much money? Like, this was a completely foreign subject to me, because I moved here to the States about 7 years ago. In Romania, where I'm from, in Eastern Europe, there's no such thing as IPS, or nobody does it. I haven't heard of it, at least. So obviously, when I moved here, I started charging $100 for a session just to get started. I literally built my business from scratch. And this is actually the topic that we were talking about in my previous interview. But when I was in this group, I'm like, wait, what is this? And, at that time, I was working so much, and I was so burned out, because I was doing like 30, 35 sessions a month, and they were like not many sessions, they were regular sessions, and I could not take it anymore. I had absolutely no time for me, for my husband, to do anything. I was just at the computer every single day, and I wasn't rushing through them, because I still wanted to deliver really great work to each of my clients. I really believe in, everything that you do it the best that you can, and be the best that you can in it. But I found out about this group, so I was starting to scroll through these posts, and I saw this lady, and she was posting a picture of her house, and she was like, IPS changed my life, something along these lines. In 2 years, I paid off however much, her house was. And I'm like, wow, oh my goodness, I want that for me. And me and my husband, we were living at the apartment at that time. And I'm like, I'm going to make this work. And, I do have a goal that I kind of set for myself until I'm 30. But I really wanted that, to make it work. So I started looking into it, and I started reading about it all the time. And I read what everybody else was saying, and I listened to a bunch of educators on it, and I listened to about their experience. And even this thing with the pre-investment that I'm doing, I've heard from it. I've heard about something like this, not necessarily how I'm doing it, but I've heard about this idea from somebody else that is an amazing photographer in the industry. So I took that from what he was sharing, and I implemented it in what I was doing. So this is another thing that I encourage you guys, like, I'm sharing with you my experience, but take what you think could work for you guys, and, try to twist it and do it so that it works for you. Even with the products, it's so important to offer something that is true to who you are. If acrylic albums work for me, that doesn't mean they're going to work for you. Offer something that you love. Like, there's a lot of photographers. I'm in Texas, so there's a lot of photographers that are rustic vibe style brands here. I am not that. I am so elegant, and my brand is, black and gold, and that's my office here behind me. That's how my packaging is. But everything that I'm offering is so that it matches my brand and who I am. And even, how I present myself in front of the client, I'm always trying to dress. I'm nice and I'm elegant, and I take them seriously. I'm not going to go in front of them with ripped jeans and, PJs or anything like that. So I value this so much, and I am a brand in myself, or my brand, to put it like that. But when I saw all of these things, and I started listening to all these educators, I wanted that. I'm like, I'm going to make this work for me, because I know I can do it. I was already so burned out and so stressed out and working so much, that when I made the switch, I told myself, and I told my husband, I don't even care if I have absolutely no work for the next 3 to 4 months. I just need this time to just recharge, because I can't do this anymore. Like, it was so stressful for me that I was, it was affecting my personal life as well. And, I made the switch, and clients just started coming, and they were still booking with me. And I'm like, I can't believe this happened. So I remember when I had my first client, even now, when she booked with me and she put $500 down towards her package, like, I was so nervous and I was so happy. And I think I got, like, she left now. My face was like red and just sweaty and so excited. And, years now, like a few years now down, I'm looking back at that experience. It was such a beautiful start, but you have to start somewhere. So you can, if I was able to do this and come to this country and start this business from scratch in, a place where I didn't know anybody, had no family here, and completely rebrand and build my business. And I literally walked this journey, went through all of the challenges that you can go through, and I made it work. So if I can make it work, everybody can make it work. So, and I do definitely encourage you guys, value work and what you do, because we are artists, and is something so beautiful that we offer to our clients, because it's something that they'll never get back. There's special memories, and I definitely think that we need to value what we do. Having a good mindset is so important. So important.
And here you are making over $10,000 in one sales. Such a wonderful story. And go back to the interview with Stephany that we have posted in the links to hear more about how she started and how she really built her brand and her business. It's very inspirational. It's such a wonderful story to hear. And yeah, and education, be sure to check back with Stephany on her website in the fall when she says she will be having some things up and running for you guys and some mentorships and things like that. Also, she threw out IPS Mastermind. It's a great resource on Facebook. Be sure to check that out as well to get some more education and yourself exposed to other great ideas from other photographers. Of course, be sure to join our communities at nPhoto too. We also have wonderful Facebook communities where you can talk with like-minded professionals and exchange ideas and things like that. Stephany, wow, we are sure to be sticking on topic today, which is great, but there's so much more I want to talk to you, but we're kind of getting close to the time too. We kind of left off on the consultation process, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to the audience now. I know there's a few questions there that I have not addressed yet. And, I think we're going to go through those questions. And audience, if you have any other questions, be sure to put them in now. But I think we're just going to run through some audience questions and then wrap it up here for today. And I think we're going to have to get you back on for another live chat because there's so much more I would like to talk to you about. But we're getting low on time. So let me jump back into the audience questions. So we went through Amina about the pricing and things like that. Such a great question. Here's one from Brian, and I didn't get to it because I thought you would get to the consultation, but I don't know if we're going to get to that. But Brian wants to know, after the shoot, how does Stephany work with the client to decide which images to include in the design of the album or the folio box? You mentioned how you do let clients choose. How do you work with them in that process?
That is so easy because everything that my client picks goes into product. So when we do the reveal session, just so we can skip the rest. So we get to the reveal session, right? They come and they see their images. I'm trying not to overwhelm my client with, hundreds of thousands of pictures there they can pick from. I'm trying to pick the best of the best. And they usually see a selection of maybe around like 45 images or so per session. So we get to those images and then we start with their slideshow so they can see their beautiful images with the music, and it's really sweet. Most of the moms cry, so I cry with them and all that. But we go through all those images that I show them in there one by one. Now, what they do is they narrow them down to the images that they love. And usually the ones that you're going to end up with, let's say as an example, they pick 30 images from everything that I'm showing them there. Those are going to go on their USB drive. They get the social media version of them. And those 30 images they said yes to, they go in their product. So they go either in their album or in their portfolio box. So there's no any decisions to make in there if, what's going and what's not going in there. Everything that they say yes to and they buy that day, it will go in their product.
Oh, okay. And you said you were starting with like 60 to 70 images. Is that what you were saying? Yeah.
45, around there.
45. Okay. And did you mention if those were edited or not?
Yes.
So
okay. There are photographers that show unedited work, and then the client will pick their images, and then they will get edited, the ones they say to. That's not me. It doesn't work for me because I do edit those images, and I want to make sure that their skin is flawless. And I'm also dealing with maternity clients, which they come with so many insecurities because their body changed and they're starting to get stretch marks and they're putting on weight and they're not used to looking like this, and it's a completely different, experience for them. So I definitely want to make those moms feel beautiful. So everything I'm showing them will be retouched. That's why we do that consultation, and that's why we talk about it, and that's why we personalize your products or their session, because I want to know and I want them to tell me ahead of time, hey, I hate my stretch marks, but I really want to show my belly in a few of those images, but I really don't want these stretch marks. So, there's no problem. There's Photoshop, so we can fix it. So don't even worry about it. And then if you come and you see your images and there's something that I miss, like there's, a hair that's bothering you, if there's, anything that you don't want there, I'll fix it for you because you're paying me for it. And I would love to fix it for you for $4,000. I have no problem fixing it. So that's where you get to know your client. Get to know your clients, see what they're insecure of. But yes, to answer your questions, everything I show is edited. I think that just works for me, and I think that definitely helps you bring your sell up, showing a final beautiful product.
All right. And how long does your reveal session usually last with your clients?
Probably an average of about an hour. Most of the people can make up their minds really easy, so we're not spending a lot of time there.
Okay. And thank you for those questions, Amina, about the reveal session, and Brian for the question in general about how clients choose their images. And so you say that people are able to make up their minds because, as you mentioned, then generally they're going from 45 down to 30 images, yes? And you say they're okay with that, making up their mind with that is okay?
Oh yes, I mean, I tell everybody, look, we're gonna take as long as we need. Sometimes you don't have questions. Oh, I'm having a hard time making up your mind, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this, And I'm like, that's okay. I'll be there with you every step of the way. I'll help you make the best decisions, and we're gonna take as long as we need. There's no problem. If they take longer than that, that's fine. They take longer than that, but usually, I mean, people have no problem to. I don't want my clients to be focused on numbers. Even though my packages come with 10, 20, and 30, I want them to pick the ones that they love and put them in the yes. And usually what I do, we'll go through all the yeses. They're like, yeah, I love everything that's in there. Well, great. You got 35 in there. Then I just write everything down what they got. And I'm like, okay. So the whole thing with this is focus on the experience of what you offer them. Try to get your clients focused on that more than the price. The clients in this luxury market will focus more on that than they will focus on the price label, as I was telling you guys earlier. So that's one great thing about it.
And speaking of experience of it, I want to ask you, when it comes to the reveal session, you say we take as long as we need. This is obviously a very big moment for the process and the client. What are some things you do to kind of create a nice atmosphere and experience for the reveal? Do you have, like snacks? Do you have drinks? How do you handle it from the atmosphere perspective with the reveal session?
Sure. So first of all, before we get to the reveal, I want my client to come excited. So I tell all of them, I send a reminder the day before, and I tell them, just a reminder, I'm going to see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. for a reveal session. I'm so excited for you to see your gallery. Your gallery is so beautiful, and it's a newborn. Your baby girl was so gorgeous and was the sweetest baby. She did so good. I think this is so important because you want to build up your client's expectations. Now, I don't really show my clients the back of my camera. I don't really like it because what I envision in my mind when I take their portrait and until they actually see it, the final portrait is going to look completely different than what they will see on my tiny little screen. So they have most likely no idea on how they look. So I want to build up their expectations. So by the time they come, you can be like, okay, well, she said this turned out good, so it must be good, And I'm going to be there and be just as excited for them, no matter this session turned out like the best ever, or, like it was maybe not one of my best days ever. So, that is the first step. And then, of course, when we meet, I'm going to have really nice atmosphere in here. I am very detail oriented. I make sure everything is clean, and this is not COVID related at all. I always, want my studio to be clean and all of that. I do have snacks. It just depends on, like what I buy, but sometimes I have cookies, sometimes I have cheese and grapes, sometimes I have like chocolate, I have like a bunch of different little things that I put in here. Not everybody will eat it, but it's great to be there because you're already offering something different, so you're differentiating yourselves. I have sodas, I have water, I have tissues because most of the moms will cry, so that's there as well. Another thing that I do, I have this little air scent machine that I originally saw it in the model homes when we started looking for a house. And when you even go into a model home or even into the hotel, you first smell the scent that comes from there. You're like, whoa, it smells really good. And people don't know, but that's actually a really great selling technique. You have to have your place smell great. So I bought that, and I have one of the scents that I have. It's like, I think it's the Marriott hotel smell or something like some hotel. But I really like how it smells, and all the people that come in, they go like, wow, your house smells so good. What is that smell, So it's so important to make like everything pleasing. I have soft music in the background when we choose our images. So all these little things, you're creating a really great experience for your client. And sometimes, we go through this, and even as I said, you go to a model home and you feel that it smells so good. You don't realize that, they actually put thought into that, and that's there for a purpose. So be careful to all these little details because they will definitely help you, and your clients will notice.
Yeah, that's such a great point. The smell is something that is usually overlooked. I certainly wouldn't think to cognitively put that together, but it's there, like you said, and what a difference it makes. So that was a great question, and thank you for answering that, Stephany. One question, kind of a follow-up from Amina about the pricing and the revealing and everything. She wants to know if your clients choose 20 images, And do you charge per image, or does it come with a set number of digitals and the rest are extra?
Let's see. If they choose 20 images. So the packages are split into a different number of images. If they pick my package that comes with 20 images and they want to add like 2 or 3 or 4 extras, they are more than welcome to add them a la carte. So I think that pretty much answers it.
Mm-hmm. There was one, here's one from Anna Moravska. And thank you for the questions, Amina. Anna Moravska wants to know, how many sessions do you do per month? Roughly, or year?
It just depends, I guess. Just to this year has been really crazy. Last year has actually been my best year in business so far, but I've been constantly having around 14, 15 sessions each month. So actually I just increased my prices last month just because of that, because I'm getting exhausted again and I feel like I'm not paying enough attention to each client like I'm supposed to. So my goal is to keep it around 6 to 7 sessions per month. I mean, I'm not going to say really no to, but I am starting to say no to, because I have to deliver, beautiful work to each client, and that requires my time and attention. And if I'm overworked and overburned, I can't do it.
Well, that's the best problem to have, isn't it? I got to start charging more. There's too many people coming, and yet they'll still come. How wonderful. Okay, so there was the answer for that one. That was a nice question. Thank you so much, Stephany. I believe that is all for the questions for today. As I said, we got to have you back. Many in the audience definitely agreed that we need to have you back so much. We didn't even get to print products. So we'll have to get you back sometime in the future and talk a little bit more, see how things are going, talk about print products, really dive into the consultation process and the selling process. Thank you again for taking the time out of your day today to join us.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. And I hope that this was helpful. And, if there's any other questions, you guys can definitely message me. But I think that we went through a really great time. We had a really great time and went through really amazing questions here.
Absolutely. Quickly before we sign off, do yourself the favor and check out Stephany's platforms in the link. In the description of the event, we have links to her social media pages, her website. We've added a link to her website throughout the interview. As she mentioned, she's going to be having some exciting news to help all you photographers coming sometime around the fall. And check out the interview that we did with her in the past, available on our website, our Facebook, page. We've linked to that a few times where you can hear more from Stephany about different topics that'll equally help to improve your business and get you motivated and going in the right direction. Also, be sure to check out our acrylic promotion currently going on till the end of June, so you can get a sample product similar to something that Stephany offers, a wonderful acrylic album that all her clients cannot get enough of. So thank you again, everybody in the audience, for tuning in. Be sure to keep in touch with us, Facebook, nPhoto Lab, to find out what else we have coming your way, as we'll always have wonderful content coming your way. Thank you again, Stephany, for joining us. I'm Eugene Agvietsky with nPhoto. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.